We're talking about the Last Resort EP you guys put out, and you guys are known for a lot of touring, a lot of time on the road. I say when I go to Spotify, I look and most of your releases are all live sets from someplace or whatever you're doing. What essentially like changed sonically from doing so much touring and doing so much playing and living in that music for so long between the second and third album?
Between 2 and 3, there was a detour from touring
Right.
for everybody.
Obviously.
Detour in life. And we were able to look back at what we had done really with some, a full tank,
Right.
so to speak. When you're on tour between 1 and 2, we cut that record in transit and really just kind of on our heels.
Right.
From the success of number 1, and it was going to be like that for 3. It was looking like it. We were really on a trajectory to keep moving, and when we stopped, we had for the first time in a long time a opportunity to really assess what we had done in the last 3 years, and I think that if anything else really informed what we were going to write and record for the Last Resort.
Yeah, so there's something in, I think, the press release for the record where it made me think of the idea that you chase a ghost, and I think that's what you guys do best, is that you chase these ghosts of the past that create this iconic thing that we all love called country music. And you caught it, which is very rare, to catch the ghost. And when you catch the ghost, you realize, oh my God, like the thing has been caught. And then there's the nature of like, well, what do? And because this is the thing that everybody comes to Nashville to try to do.
Right.
And you guys succeeded at it. So like there's a danger invested in that.
Right. Ghost hunting is a dangerous game.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the art form is, and I think that's what we do. It's by the nature of being at it for so long. But I think the three of us really hold a special reverence for the artists that have informed us. But the artistry is to be influenced, to have that reverence, but to make it your own and not to be derivative. And I think that's what we've been able to accomplish, and I think that's what has shaped our sound.
Right. Because there are people that literally will say that, oh yeah, well Midland, they're just, this kind of like pastiche thing of all the country of the 70s and 80s that, people look at on the screen, and it's that. But to me, when you go into the studio, you run the risk of hitting that and not digging deeper.
Right.
But I feel like what happens on this record, and we were talking about when you came in, the idea that you did dig deeper, and it's like you go from like this kind of like Western Austin thing to now it's like a Bakersfield, like LA country, late 70s kind of thing that's happening. So the sound is starting to really expand, and you're taking some ownership of it too.
It's a really dynamic album. And it really is running the full spectrum. And you are seeing all of our influences kind of at work on this album. It's almost like a soundtrack to The Last Resort. And The Last Resort is kind of this place. I guess it's a thing that we live now on the tour, but that's what this album is kind of set up that way. You can play it from track 1 to track 12. And it would be a great show in itself.
Exactly. So people have heard the single Last Resort. You can take people into that who haven't heard it. And what it conjures to a lot of people is this kind of like Jimmy Buffett sort of thing. It's very much like, kick back on the beach, like, pop top, flip top, flip flop, the whole thing.
Yeah.
That kind of vibe where it's very laid back and, allows for a good time.
Gulf and Western, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So thoughts about, what that is, and as far as the other vibes, that if you can like pinpoint them for some people to give them a sense on the record.
We've talked about kind of going into the Gulf and Western thing forever. I mean, largely because what better career to design for yourself than to sort of tour around Florida and the Gulf and stuff and live that lifestyle. It's so attractive. And we all love Jimmy Buffett. And a lot of that stuff, it's kind of crazy that it took us this long to kind of go into that lane. Last Resort, I feel like when that song came together, it was one of those things where it was after we wrote that song that we decided to kind of make that the cornerstone, or kind of the direction for the album and the imagery and stuff. And we love that song. It it just feels like a song that was there in the ether, and we just kind of pulled it down, and it feels like a song that'll last. That'll be around for a while, and kind of gave us the opportunity to plant a stake in that type of thing, and I think you'll see more of that from us.
Cool. Well, as far as questions, that's what I had. So thank you to the Tennessean for taking some time and listening and watching my conversation with Midland.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Hey, thanks for having us, Marcus.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.